Maybe you weren't able to be at the recent Web Summit in Vancouver, but I am here and I am going to give you the 5 biggest takeaways that I've had this week. Hello, lovely dynamic women. Welcome to the Dynamic Women Podcast. I am Diane Rolston, your host, and today I'm going to go over my 5 biggest takeaways this week. And I say 5 biggest, but I haven't actually gone through all the notes and all the replays and all the things. So this is like what I'm pulling together on the Friday morning, the last day of our event. Now, there's been so much talk of AI, so much talk. And the key thing is we need to remember that AI is not our replacement. Whether we are a solopreneur and we are trying to use so much AI to do all the jobs for us, or whether we're worried about our jobs as a creative designer, whatever it may be, AI is just meant to be a tool. I heard from Irina Novoletsky, the CEO of Hootsuite. She was talking a lot about how really they're great for that like ideation. They're great for first drafts. We know that, right? They're going to give us some interesting output. But the key thing is human creativity, human authenticity. This has got to lead. This is the key piece. And if we can come in with that human emotion, in with the authenticity, in with the skills that we have, AI is not going to be a problem at all. When we work into number 2, we're thinking about redesigning the human roles in our businesses. This is for corporate, this is for solopreneurs, whatever it may be. Everything is automated now. So many things. So in the age of automation, we have to think, what are the human roles in my business? And then what are the AI pieces where we're going to use different pieces of software to speed things up? So a lot of times in the clients that I have that are working with my VAs, they're thinking, well, can I just have the AI do all of these things? And it helps in the way of, hey, come up with some ideas for content posts, come up with some drafts for some emails. But at the end of the day, you as the business owner, you as the person in that human role need to approve it, need to read it over, need to put your own spice on things. So when we think about the human roles, we need to be looking at what are the breaks in the automation. So if we're automating things in our business, where is there kind of a subtle break, a big break, where we're thinking, this doesn't work properly? So we need to have the human to step in and to keep that flowing. So if we're looking at something like cutting up a reel, cutting up video for reels, we can use AI, we can use different software to be able to do that, to take the different pieces and make their choices. But what I've consistently heard is they don't make the best choices. And so maybe they're taking half of a quote, or they're not taking the full piece of it, or they're not taking the best stuff. And so at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you are the one that is looking things over, and you are the one that is deciding what are the requirements, the guidelines that are necessary in order for this AI to work properly. Also, another question to ask is, what gets missed with full automation? Are there pieces of it? Are there pieces around customer service that gets missed? Creativity? Maybe there's opportunities that are missed. And what are you truly hiring the humans to do? So let's create the human role and see how AI can assist them in what they're doing. Key thing here is that was thought about and mentioned a bunch of times is AI is dumb. AI can't reason. And so we also think about AI can't manage conflict. AI can't lead with empathy. AI can't decide which creative direction feels right. Maybe it can tell you, oh, it's kind of in alignment with your values or the objectives of your business. But at the end of the day, your humans, your people of your business are going to give you that gut decision. And that's also come up in the interview I did with Kat Howe, talking about how she looks to her employees for, are we going to take on this client or not? Are we going to do this project or not? Comes down to that gut decision. AI, not really smart in that yet. The third takeaway that I've been seeing is we need to redefine success beyond profitability. So there are so many hungry tech students here, so many founders, so many investors, so many people that are looking to build the next unicorn business. However, I have seen so many of these businesses that are created to solve a problem for human good. To cameras that can look underwater to find people who are drowning. and other ones that are helping with climate issues. Also, another pitch I saw was around taking chemicals out of dyes and creating more natural approaches. And so that is one way that we can really use the businesses that we're doing to go beyond the profitability. But it's not just in the success of the business. It is, what is the success for the people around you because of the jobs that you're creating? Jillian Harris was saying, there's no point in driving a fancy car down the street if everyone else is struggling. And so it was really nice to see that, there's some cash hungry people here, but there's a lot of people that have the intention of building a legacy, making the world better because of their business. So that's something that you can be thinking about for yourself, right? Profit shouldn't just be a metric. It should be more about what's the purpose of what we're doing? What's the impact we want to have? Equity matters too, right? So be thinking about, how can I, maybe if I'm doing a global company or an online software that I'm creating, how can I invest in my employees? How can I work with local vendors? How can I choose collaborations that reflect our core beliefs? And these are the things that you want to be thinking about, because at the end of the day, when your head hits that pillow, you want to make sure that you're feeling good about yourself, and that at the end of the day, your business is solid, and that you can leave this world knowing I did good and I put some good businesses out there or good work out there. Takeaway number 4, this is one that really kind of blew my mind in one way. So the point is, creators don't need to build a platform. They just need to show up authentically. And so I'm going to get into this a little bit more, because we know there's a lot of creators, influencers that are on TikTok and on Instagram and all the different places, and they're making reels and they're dancing and they're doing their things. I'm speaking more about cartoon creators, graphic designers, these type of creators, like Ingrid, who is a Mexican writer, illustrator, and full-time webtoon creator. So if you want to check this out, she was on a panel with Webtoon, and she has created this cartoon inspired by Japanese anime, and it's called The Kiss Bet. Now, it's now become a very beloved romance series with over 176 million views and 1.7 million subscribers. So she was able to leave her day job in order to do this. Now, a lot of times people think, oh, well, if I need to create an app, I need to create the software myself. You don't. So key thing here is to be looking at the different platforms that you can be on. So I didn't know about Webtoon. I'm sure a lot of people that love cartoons and love comics are like, this is amazing. This has been around for a long time. And there's many others as well. But the thing is, the power is in what you create, not necessarily owning the platform that it's on. But there are some big key tips that you have to be thinking about here. You must retain your IP, your intellectual property, and that's for creatives, and that's also for solopreneurs or any business owner. Make sure you own your own IP. So double check the fine print where you're going on any of these platforms. Also, use analytics to study your audience and what they love. And so if you're putting out these episodes like Ingrid is with the different types, maybe they really love the episodes that are about a certain character or have a certain flair or a certain plotline twist to it. So be looking for what it is that, not just when we think of influencers and what they're talking about, but when you're creating larger content, so even for your courses, webinars and such, where is it that your people are really, where they're dropping off and where they're viewing more? And one key thing that Ingrid has been doing is she's been using other platforms to help build and promote what she's doing on Webtoon, which I thought was really great. And we think about that as business owners. Where else can I be to kind of move people to where I want them to purchase from me or be a follower? But what she's been doing is she's building loyalty. So when she decides to go into a different cartoon, comic, create something else, then she has that opportunity to pull her fan base with her. And the other cool thing is, think about how else you can monetize it. So what they've been doing with another company, and I'll put in the show notes the link to them, but what they're doing is they're thinking, how can we merchandise this? How can we create other pieces? How can we monetize this? And so it's not just, here's the cartoon, but it's here are t-shirts, and here's the actual comic to it, and here are all the other pieces so the fans can kind of gobble it all up. And so be thinking about that as well. You've got sponsorship opportunities, you've got membership opportunities, licensing, live events. There's so many other things you can do than just the one piece that you're creating. My fifth takeaway, and this is not going to be it, but this is just what I've come up with today, is storytelling is still the superpower. You know, Randy Kumar, CEO of Team Pumpkin, he says storytelling matters more than technology in advertising, and that's where we are unique. A lot of people are complaining that they can tell when ChatGPT or Claude or some of these have created the output that people are reading. And in advertising, people don't want to be sold to. We know that. That's not new. But the key thing is they're wanting to get to know us. And they get to know us through story. And so maybe it's time for us to reconnect with our story. Maybe we think we are connected to our story, but do our people know that? And so a lot of the AI software here, a lot of the speakers here on the different panels, we're talking about how can you get your story out there more? How can you share it? And then why don't we use the AI tools to be able to help you put it out there even better? Right? And so if you're thinking about expanding into even a new space with a new language, you could use AI to take your original video and put another language in your mouth. I've seen this happen in training videos in my fellow CAPS members, Canadian Association of Professional Speakers. They're doing trainings now that it's them, but it is in all the different languages that their client has employees in. So this is where we can use the AI to help us to put our message out there to different communities. And that's also in point 4, where that's what Ingrid and all the other creatives on that platform are able to do, is to be putting it into other languages and to hit other markets in other countries. So thinking here about what do you want people to feel? A lot of times when AI gets involved, we lose the emotion, we lose the feeling. So think about how can you infuse into your storytelling the values, the humanity of it all. And then think about how to add that into your funnel and your sales posts and your landing pages, not just maybe when you show up on camera. So as I wrap up, this has been a fantastic three and a half days, panel after panel. And I encourage you to listen to the interviews that I've done with some of the women who are pitching their business ideas and pitching their startups, and also with some people who are doing some cool things in branding in this industry. And the other episode I want you to make sure you check out is around the 5 ways that you can survive being at a major event so that you don't get overloaded and overwhelmed and completely burnt out, and you can capture every single piece that you need to take out of the time that you're there. So until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.